Welcome to this morning's hearing. I'm going to invite Mr. Richmond straight away to take us forward into the proceedings.
Good morning, sir. Sir, the first commemoration is for Vincent Cheyina from flat 144. It is a film which has been prepared by Obi Cheyina, and it stands as a piece. So there'll be nobody on the stage to introduce it. And I'm going to ask that the lights are dimmed and we see it now.
Vincent was born on the 1st of June 1957. He spent the first years of his life in Nigeria before making his first plane journey to London with his mother Mary and his 5-year-old sister Maria. As a teenager, he liked science fiction and watched religiously Star Trek, the original series, every Saturday on BBC One. Like Captain Kirk, Vincent prepared for a series of fleeting journeys and then suddenly, without warning, simply disappeared without trace from his planned destinations. He excelled at mathematics and studied the subject to owe an A standard at a private school in Ramsgate, but failed to pick up his sixth form prize in mathematics. He studied electrical and electronic engineering at Sheffield University for 4 years in the mid-1970s, but never became an engineer. When I broke my leg again, he bought a large bar of dark chocolate to soothe his grumpy younger sister. However, at the age of 8, I preferred the sickly and sweet taste of Bounty, Topic Mars and Curly Wurly. But now I enjoy the bitter taste of good quality dark chocolate. A trailblazer, that was my brother. He was also liked cooking, so he was very good. He was the only person that I knew who could actually make crisps at home, because the only ones that I've ever known are things that you can buy at the shop. But he could actually slice the potatoes, fry them, and they were quite good. So he quite liked doing that. One of my memories of my brother is when he used to look after us when my mother had to go out to work as an auxiliary nurse at night. So he used to make sure we brush our teeth, make sure he switched off the television, and then got us to bed and made sure we were tucked in nicely. And I think he was also quite good at looking after people who were quite vulnerable, like himself. So he would never reject anybody just because they were less privileged than himself. And he was always good at spotting that, not exploiting it, but wanting to quietly support them with whatever troubles they had, but also making them feel good. There's a story that I really like that was told to me by Russell, who was involved in the Open Age group that was based in North Kensington. And he said to me, after my brother died, is that Vincent was very good at any new members to that group, making them feel welcome. And there's a story that if a new member came into the room, Vincent would stand up from his seat wherever and offer his chair to them. So he would always make them feel welcome and talk to them and, be a good friend. He was a very caring person. So it was no surprise Vincent supported and helped other men like himself through the 50-plus open age group. Writing this, I've realised that Vincent was not behind the times but ahead of the curve. I think rejecting earthly achievements but making sure that he guided other people to their paths, and I'd like to celebrate that. Because of, or in spite of his fragile nature, Vincent laid down the foundation of a clear path for Vincent, Mary, Maria, Obi, Ngozi, Gerard, Andrew, Tony, Open Age and the community in North Kensington. He guided and gave directions to others. Let's celebrate and remember those who help others. Thanks, Vincent, from Mum, Maria, Obi and Ngozi. Thank you very much, Vincent.
Thank you very much. A very effective film, if I may say so. Thank you.
Beautiful, wasn't it? Absolutely. The next commemoration is for Ligaya Moore from flat 181.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
Yes.
Thank you for
Actually,
coming.
we don't
Susie.
have a film to prepare. This is just done quickly. So, but I'm the person who stands as like a daughter of Ligaya Moore.
Can I just, before we start,
Yeah.
it's a big room, so we need to make sure you've got a big voice to match it.
Okay.
If we just pull that towards you, so it's in front of your face, not too far forward, that's perfect.
Okay.
And if you speak towards it, that's lovely. So why don't you tell us first of all what your name is,
I'm Ninita Bungay.
and how do you know Ligaya?
She's my neighbor.
I think you've got a statement to read on behalf of...
Of Caroline Custodio,
And
the
who's that?
niece, one of the niece. Yes.
Now, I think you managed to give us some photos we weren't expecting
yes.
this morning, and I was told that we wouldn't get them up, but we have. So I'm very pleased that we've got those. So take your time, there's absolutely no rush. And would you like to tell us what Caroline would like us to hear?
Okay. So we start now? Okay. Yeah, I feel nervous my first time. So,
There's no rush. Take as much time as you need.
okay. I've known her more than a year, and she became as a member of my team in Jesus Lord Church for a year, and we've been together every day since morning, lunch, and dinner. We've been together. So how become so close to me? It's like my mom, my friend, my sister, everything. Every day.
Would you like to read Caroline's statement?
I, Ninita Bungay, will read on behalf of Caroline Custodio, Ligaya's niece, Ligaya's family in the Philippines. They were in the Philippines. And me, myself, as Ligaya's best friend. And will say as follows. Ligaya was born in San Luis, Pampanga, in Philippines, and had 2 sisters and 1 brother. She's the second child in her family. And Ligaya was 78 years old when she died, but you would never be able to tell. She was a stylish and sociable woman who would even wear heels at her age. She would always say she's not used to wearing flats and never wear them. Her fashion was her favorite. She loved to shop all day long and was so easy to talk to. She's very friendly. And she loved to go abroad, so, well, actually, it was her dream. And wants to get married. That's her dream and prayer, wants to get married. A foreigner and wants to go in abroad, so it really come to pass. So she's been to go to London to work here and met that foreigner. That first man is become her husband. So she left in the Philippines 1972 and had first job as a nanny. She met her husband, Uncle Jim, and they are married, but they had no child. They were a happy couple and loved to travel only all around in London. And because that guy is afraid of heights, so never been in the Philippines because he has a fright in heights. What do you call that? I don't know what kind of phobia is that. She has a phobia. So Ligaya and I were neighbors and met at the bus stop. So we're the place where I had the Bible study group in Bromley House. It's the opposite of that tower building.
Yes.
Where we sit there in the kitchen. You can see her place where we used to sit together when we have breakfast or lunch. And ligaya, and since morning, the moment I woke up with my client, the autistic lady that you have seen in the photo, then we go to Bromley where we used to meet together and have some bonding, prepared breakfast or sometimes lunch. And after that, we go to Westfield, which is our second home, for our dinner. Sometimes we go somewhere else. Everywhere in West London, together, we walk around Notting Hill, Hammersmith, Holland Park, Earls Court. We want to eat some Filipino food. If we go to Hammersmith, we love to taste some different kinds of food, like in Tokyo, like in somewhere in Hammersmith. And we used to love to go around, and especially when they have every festival, especially in Christmas, she loves to walk. She can walk from that place in Holland Park. She can walk all the way through Trafalgar. That's how she's energetic. She loves to see the beautiful places, decoration, especially Christmas selfish. Everywhere she loved that. That even notice about she's already in Trafalgar, where they have some kinds of some festival. So she loves walking and dancing. She was so proud to live in Grenfell. He'd always say every time we pass by in Bromley House walking to Westfield, she always point to me, Ninita, that's my building, 21st floor. It's a posh building and I love it so much. Even I'm alone staying there. I love seeing every day, especially when the fireworks. She loved that kind of beautiful things in the fireworks in her building. That she always proud of it, always saying that word to me. And she loves to see the beauty of London from her window. She would always say, I'm on top of the world, Ninita. Look at my building. I'm scared of your building, it's too tall. I always say that to her. And she loved that place. She loved dancing and ballroom, especially the ballroom. She was an active person with a lovely, bubbly personality. She's a happy lady. You cannot see in her age the way she acts, her attitude is like 30s, and she's already 78 years old. She has no maintenance medicine. And Ligaya and I became bound by faith, not to offend for any religion, faith through Christ as Lord and Savior. She's not, Ninita, I'm not too religious, I'm not devoted. It's not all about this kind of religion or being devoted. It's a heart relationship to God. Because Jesus will return soon. You never know. It's not too early to receive Christ. At any moment, it could be too late. I didn't even know that it will happen to her that night. That's how I shared the last night that we've been together in dinner time. Became bound by faith, which made our relationship so much stronger. That's why we met together, sharing the Word of God, enjoying our outing where we used to walk. She would come to a Bible study with me, prayer meetings. Sometimes she sleep because she's old already, so it's because that was late. I was her family here, and she was mine, and her love extended to everyone. We share the Word of God. We go to the hospital. We visit the hospital. That guy is already passed away, Butch, in somewhere like cancer. So we come together with me to visit the people who is sick, the house. They need prayer in the hospital. She was heavily involved in a charity work and did so much to help others. That's what we're doing together, visit other peoples. Before she passed away, she planned to expand her charity work in the Philippines, where she opened the bank account in Nationwide, 9th of June. Ninita, here is my proof to you as a promise in a covenant. We will do it. She opened an account and gave it to me, the passbook, at 9th of June, 1 o'clock, 1:39 p.m. Then how many days then? The following week, she just, by tragic accident, she's passed away. And at her time was being cut off short. She would always see is as free as a bird, because all her old friends is already been bound to the taking care of their grandchildren. I said, why you don't have kids? Oh, Nenita, I'm been very free as a bird and I can do whatever I wanted. He said, I'm happy being like this. We got along because we treated each other as a family. And she was loved by everybody. Her niece, Caroline, misses her dearly and remember that vacation they had together in the Philippines. Actually, when she returned from the Philippines, from her holiday, she promised to her niece, Caroline, that, Ninita, I want to petition Caroline to be with me because I'm getting old already. And but I told her, you're still very energetic, not this time, maybe next year. I told her, okay, but I will try to push this, and that's my plan, my dream to come over here. So, okay. So her niece, okay, and they had to get in the, so, okay, the last night, I saw her in Westfield, and I cooked fish and brought it to her home. I remember scrapping the avocado, and she was happy. While doing it, he said, Ninita, you know, the person that will die, you can see something strange and different that's so calm and so gentle because he's a person with sudden outbursts. Sometimes she had in her mind, and suddenly she just, but that night, purely, no argument, nothing. She's so calm, scraping the avocado. I just watching her. I said, Ninita, when you hold the avocado, when you done it, you have to scrape nicely and take all the bits of the green thing, that's the nutrient parts. I just watching her opposite of me. And she was happy, and happiest when spending a nice meal together. And she was not only my friend, she was my mother, my sister, everything. Because my family, I've seen them since 1989. I was out from them and from Hong Kong. And then I'm not too close to my family because it's been since 1989. I was away from my family. Sometimes more than 2-3 years, never been returned home. But for her, every day in my life, the moment I woke up, we parted. It's really hard. It's really hard for me. I took care of her. I'm like a volunteer carer for the meals. Not giving a bath like my client, but every time we saw, we love each other as a family. Ninita, you're like my daughter. I said, you're like my mom. Not only as my member, but you are like my mom, my friend, everything. I said, every day we saw each other, how painful it is. So I said, she told me that night she said, she's staring at me and said, when we parted that night, I don't want to sleep at home. My friend is inviting me. No. I said, I don't want you to come home drunk, because every time we saw her old friends, she's enjoying herself. She got sick, so I bring home food upstairs. She cannot come down. So I told her, when she's staring at me, that last night at 10:30, we parted from Westfield. She's looked at me, staring at me from head to toe. And I'm holding my client, and then she told me, Ninita, take care of yourself. I love you. I said, love you too. That's the last word, the last night. She's telling me that word is already here in my heart and in my mind, that memory, that words. God bless.
Sounds like a very special friendship. Just take your time. There's no rush.
Thank you.
So might we give this lady just a moment to gather herself? I wonder if you might just leave us for a moment.
To rise for a moment?
Yes, thank you.
Of course.
Sorry, just...
Well, that was a great tribute, and I'm very pleased to have been able to hear all about your great friendship with Ligaya. Thank you.
I'm sorry about that. Thank you very much.
All right, doesn't matter.
We're now moving on to a series of commemorations for the Al-Wahabi family.
Yes.
They're going to be in 3 tranches, and I think the first tranche is a statement which has been written by Hamed El-Wahabi, Hanan El-Wahabi, Zach Chebioni, Mariam El-Wahabi, and Sarah Chebiuni. And I wonder if they would like to come up to the stage. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we've got a lot of people on there, and you're all very welcome. Who am I speaking to at the moment?
I'm Hamid.
Hamid.
Abaz's brother.
Welcome. Perhaps you'd just like to introduce us to who's with you on the stage.
Yep. My sister Hanan on the right, her son Zachariah, my sister Asiya, my brother's daughter, Mariam, my sister Amina's daughter, Yusra. Sarah is Hanan's daughter, she's a survivor, and my sister Amina.
Well, you're all very welcome, and thank you very much for coming. So there's a statement to be read. I think you're going to share some of it between you, is that right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, you take your time and start when you're ready.
Okay. I'll start by greeting you the way my brother would. And it would be a good morning, Governor, if you were a man. And good morning, darling, if you're a lady. I'm Abdulhamid Al-Wahabi. I'm his younger brother. My dear brother was born in Laroche. In Morocco, after spending his early childhood in the coastal town of Laroche in North Morocco. He moved to London to live with our parents in Morocco, in Portobello, as a young boy. My dear brother Abdulaziz was a simple man. Who loved to travel and had a strong attachment to both his British and Moroccan identity. His home was filled with various Moroccan decor. It was like a shrine of Morocco, and many photos of his children he was most proud of. At every family gathering, Abdulaziz was always the one to take photos. He had a passion for capturing memories. My dear brother loved to have conversations and could talk for hours. We used to have our own private conversations. It was our private time by the garages downstairs from the tower. People who live there would know where that is. Just me and him. Boy, I wish I could talk to him now. Sometimes we'd talk on the phone for hours. He would talk for so long, my phone would heat up, as would my ear, and my ear would go on fire. Everything he said made sense, but I realize it even more today. As I look back, everything he said made sense. Abdulaziz worked in various trades as a young man, including working in a local butcher, and he assisted in a mechanic garage, which was bodywork. Later on, he worked at Texaco petrol station. Just before he married our sister-in-law, Fawzia, God rest her soul, he began working at University College London Hospital as a porter, where he remained there for 22 years. Marcel Levy, the chief executive of UCLH NHS Trust, described our brother, who was known as Aziz there, as a popular colleague, known for being kind to his patients. Some of his other colleagues have also shared their thoughts and experiences of our brother. I'll read some of these quotes to you now, so it can be understood what others thought of him. He was such a big character who brightened up UCLH with your cheerful banter. You'll be sadly missed, Gail. We all miss you. I'm going to especially miss your cheeky banter, your ability to break the ice with everyone you meet. You made everyone feel welcome and entertain us all. Darren, Interserve help desk. To remember Aziz is to remember, all right, mate. Hello, Jane. Hello, sis. He had a twinkle in his eye. I did not take the life too seriously. He was the ideal temperament. As a porter, laid back, chatty, friendly to staff, especially patients. It was an honor to know him. Janet, the nurse. Aziz was a great man. He would go beyond the call of his duty for anyone. I could remember his smile, his laughter, and his great sense of humor whilst transferring patients to the ward. He was patient and kind, and we all loved him very much. I met Aziz in 2001, and he always remembered me. Caroline Johnson, clinical management team. Aziz was a wonderful man who knew how to make you laugh, even if you didn't want to smile. Got it? He had a beautiful smile that lit up the room. Margaret. After our father passed away, Aziz became the heart of the family. He took on the father figure. The listener, the supporter, the protector, and the carer. He was so proud if anyone in the family achieved anything in life. Our mother became too reliant on Abdulaziz. He used to visit our mother often and would just sit with her and chat. Whoever knew Abdulaziz would just know just how much he could talk. For our mother, who loved his company, she could listen to him all day. And now she is at loss. One of the hardest things we had to do as a family was to tell her the heartbreaking news of what had happened to such a wonderful family. What happened to our family? It's almost been a year since the tragedy, and yet she still calls out his name. Our beloved brother Abdulaziz was a son, a father, a brother, an uncle, and a great uncle, and a dearest friend. He was kind, loyal family man. He had an infectious and caring personality. He left a mark on many people's hearts, and it's evident by the endless love and support given to us by his friends and colleagues. We, his family, intend to continue on by his example. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I know from experience that it can be so difficult to keep going when you're finding it difficult, and can I just say that that was a superhuman effort there. Well done.
A very, very beautiful tribute. Thank you very much.
So who's going next? You'll need to bring that microphone a bit closer to you so we can hear you. Lovely. Again, no rush, take your time.
This is the pen portrait of Fawzia al-Wahabi. Fawzia was born on the 1st of June, 1975, and died with her family on the 14th of June, 2017. Fawzia lived with my brother and their children in flat 182 of Grenfell Tower on the 21st floor. She died at the age of 42. My brother Abdulaziz died at the age of 52. My name is Hanan Wahabi, and I am Fawzia's sister-in-law, friend, and I was their neighbor. I'm often asked why I'm Wahabi and the rest of my family are Al-Wahabi. It's just I was born in the UK and my dad happened to forget to put the L. So that's the reason. Fawzia was born in Larach, Morocco, just as my brother was. She lived with her parents, her mother, who's sitting here, her siblings and her grandmother. And she moved to London at the age of 20 when she married our brother Abdulaziz al-Wahabi. Fawzia was a lively, friendly woman who loved her role of being a mother and a wife. You would always see her laughing and joking with her children. She was more like a sibling with her two older children than a parent. David Sellens, the head teacher of Thomas Jones Primary School, where our nephew Yasin and niece Nurhuda attended, said this of Fawzia. There was a real sweetness to her, but beneath that, there was a real desire to ensure her children got on. Fawzia's knitting and crochet skills were something to be admired. She even had her own sewing machine. Fawzia loved to make things. She would make things from bed quilts to tea cozies. Her house was cozily filled with her creations. My daughter Sarah, who's sitting just here, was so impressed with her auntie's skills. She made me buy all the equipment she needed, and then she went to Fawzia and asked her to teach her. Fawzia was a natural teacher. She was so calm and patient, and she taught my daughter Sarah how to knit. Her son Mehdi then became engrossed with Fawzia's knitting too, and before you knew it, she was teaching them both regularly. This is something that my daughter Sarah definitely misses, and I hope that Fawzia's passion for creating will live on through Sarah, especially because I can't knit, so. Fawzia was very much loved in the community. She attended various classes at the Westway Trust Community Centre, as well as local knitting and crochet classes. She regularly attended her children's school trips, as well as supporting other classes that needed an extra pair of hands. That was Fawzia. She offered her time and support to all. The last project I remember Fawzia doing was making scarves, headbands, and even clothes for babies. All of these items were sold on Portobello Market, and the profits went back into the community. Fawzia had planned to teach knitting and crochet as a volunteer at the local community centre. I recall her telling me about it. She was so excited about the opportunity. She was just waiting for her DBS so that she could start. Unfortunately, her DBS arrived in the post shortly after the 14th of June. I also lived in Grenfell Tower, and I would often go up for a cup of tea, or sometimes even dinner.
No rush. No rush. Take a nice deep breath.
Fawzia was famous for entertaining her guests with various meals and desserts. She loved to cook a variety of different cultural dishes from all over the world, and she was a good cook at that. My brother Abdulaziz never needed to buy sandwiches for his lunch at work. She would always make sure that he had her famous meals even when he was at work. I remember Fawzia preparing my brother's dishes. They were always mouth-watering. Fawzia was well known for her baking too. She and I would often lend each other our baking recipe books. We would also visit each other and bake together. I must confess, though, she was a far better baker than I. She was so good that other people would ask her to bake cakes, muffins, fairy cakes, and various desserts for them. The last time she did this was on the 13th of June, and she baked fairy cakes for a family friend's engagement party. One of Fawzia's closest friends had these words to say about her. Fawzia was my best friend. She meant the world to me. She was the sister I never had. I could talk to her about anything. She made me smile. She taught me how to be strong and always told me everything is going to be okay. She was an amazing baker and an amazing cook. She taught me a lot in life and will not be forgotten. She taught me how to bake my first cake and made it look easy. When she died, I stopped making it for a long time as it reminded me of her. She will always be in my memories. My children were very close to her 3 beautiful children, and we miss them dearly. They were a beautiful family, and they will never be forgotten. Our sister-in-law, Fauzia, was the anchor of her family. She had a real presence within the community, and she was loved by many. She was our family. She was our sister, and she will always be remembered for her strength, her kindness, and her love for others. We miss her dearly.
Thank you so much. Is it you next, Zach?
Yeah,
Just remind us who's sitting with you.
my sister, Sarah Shaboon.
Hello.
Yeah. My name's Zach Shabooni, and I'm Yasin's cousin, and Yasin's father was my uncle. Yasin was born in St Mary's, as was I, in Paddington. He went to Thomas Jones Primary, Holland Park Secondary, and then Richmond College before finally studying accountancy at Greenwich University. He studied at university part-time so he could continue his contributions to the community. He trained as a football referee and officiated at adult and children games. Yasin was always a supportive figure in the lives of his young cousins like me and those in the community. He was a sociable and popular person. He would always help neighbours with their bags and open doors. I felt inspired by his drive to create a better life for him and his family, and I will always strive to be as social and outgoing as him, so that a piece of him can live on through me. The son, I'll now talk about people who talked about Yasin. The son of the deputy head teacher at Thomas Jones Primary had this to say about Yasin. As a young child, Yasin was warm and brotherly to me. His flat in Grenfell Tower was situated in the first tower block I had ever visited. I found the height terrifying. I was so frightened and I crawled around the floor to avoid looking out the windows. Yasin and his family were amused but so accommodating of my eccentric response, and treated me with great kindness and generosity. I learned a great deal from Yasin, and we spent time together. He taught me to be confident and sure of myself at a time when I was struggling with anxiety due to the trauma of losing my father. One of my best memories of Yasin was spending the day with him on the estate where he lived, riding on the back of his BMX, laughing, talking, and getting chased by a group of girls, as he always did. He was full of life, at ease with himself, and had a great sense of humour. His support and warm-heartedness continued as we got older. I saw him less, but we would communicate regularly by text. He gave me support and guidance when I was being bullied at secondary school, and his strength of character and positive approach to life was a source of inspiration to me at a difficult time. I will be forever grateful that I knew Yasin and his family, and will remember him with affection for the rest of my life. That was from Joe Ward. Rap artist Loki was a friend of Yasin. He had this to say: I would say Yasin was a beautiful, soft, curious, and always respectful young man, who I and the rest of Latimer Road had seen mature from an imaginative and playful teenager. We loved him here, and just thinking of him always brought a smile to my face. The beautiful, kind, and endlessly optimistic way he was is a testament to the grace of his wonderful family. He will never leave our hearts in Ladbroke Grove, and his name is forever engraved on our hearts. Many people in the community knew Yasin very well and have many stories to tell of their time with him. This is a quote from one of those people. Whenever I think of Ladbroke Grove, the manor which I grew up in, the culture, plus the history which is embedded in us, I would think of the people of the manor. Yasin El-Wahhabi was surely a soul I could say made me proud of being from this area. From his classic jokes to his cheeky smile, when feeling sad, all you would need is to bump into Yasin and your mood would have changed in an instant. Yasin lived through us and will forever be cherished in our hearts and never forgotten. That was from Abdullah Assad. For us as a family, Yasin was a lovable, bubbly, caring young man. He would lend his hand to anyone who asked for help. He was so loved by many, and his contagious smile will always be etched in our minds and hearts. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you next?
Yeah.
Tell everyone who you are. I tell you what, why don't you... I know this can be really difficult, so why don't you just do two things, all right? Just turn the microphone so you can see me. Okay? Now, one of my jobs is that I'm here to be the voice of everybody else in here just for today, all right? So what I want you to do is just read that statement to me because I've not read it for a long time. So just read the statement to me. All the people who are listening are here because they want to show their love and support for all of you. And you are doing a brilliant thing. But just imagine that it's you and me talking. All right? And just read it to me through that microphone because I really want to hear what you've got to tell me. All right?
My name is Mariam El-Wahhabi, and I am Nurhuda's cousin. Our fathers were brothers. Nurhuda was born in St Mary's Hospital in Paddington. She went to Thomas Jones Primary School and Holland Park Secondary, where she was in the middle of doing her GCSEs. Nurhuda, a beautiful soul who left us too early. You was like a big sister to me. We made the best memories together, and I wish we had the opportunity to make some more. The indescribable pain that I have felt since you were taken away from this world will never go away, and your unique personality will always be a part of me. You was always at my house spending time with me, and even where there was times where we didn't see each other for a while, we always had that immediate connection. You made it clear that you would always have my back and that you would protect me no matter what. Sadly, you are no longer here to do that now. When I first started school, you showed me how much you cared by offering me to show me to my classes, even though you knew that you would be late for yours. You always took risks for me. When you knew I was upset about something, you would pretend a teacher needed me and pick me up from my lesson, when all you really wanted to do was to see if I was okay. Nurhuda was admirable, and her bright smile left a deep print on everyone's hearts. Everyone, including myself, looked up to Nurhuda and wanted to be like her, but we soon came to the realization that it was impossible to be like her. She was too unique. Our birthdays were only 4 days apart. We were both born in the month of June, mine being 23rd of June and Nurhuda being the 27th of June. Last year we planned to rent a hall to celebrate our birthdays together. Nurhuda's long-awaited 16th birthday and me finally hitting teenage years. We didn't know that God had a different plan because that celebration never happened. I know I was younger than Nurhuda, but I remember watching her grow into a beautiful young woman. Although many things changed, she continued to be that caring and nurturing person she always was. I'm so thankful to have shared 12 years of my life, almost 13 with Nurhuda, and she will always be with my heart. Without Nurhuda's presence, time has changed, my life has changed, but I'll still continue to look for her rays of sunshine despite the clouds gathering overhead. I hope we will meet again. Like Nurhuda, I also attended Holland Park School. This is what one of our teachers, Miss Hurst, had to say about Nurhuda. It is very difficult to try encapsulate Neruda into words. I don't want to miss anything out. I want you to know her once you have read this and understand her loss had such an impact on our school as well as the wider community. Neruda had empathy well beyond her years. She looked out for other people and made sure that they were okay without expecting the same in return. Her inherent sense of right, wrong, and justice stood her in good stead and was instilled by her family. I always looked forward to Parents' Day as meetings with her family were always enjoyable occasions. The love between them all was palpable. Mr. and Mrs. Al-Wahabi were very proud of her, and rightly so. A classroom was always a better place if she was in it. She had a connection with the staff and students alike, so helpful, so accommodating, so industrious, so diligent. She had high aspirations and was absolutely determined to achieve them. She recognized that this would be entirely down to her own efforts. She did not expect to have anything handed to her. She did not want anything to be handed to her. She wanted to earn her success through her own hard work. She was a role model for others, and I wish more of her generation had her approach. Her handwriting was beautiful, so much that hers was the exemplar piece of work at the start of every maths book, so every child would know that what the very best looked like and that they should try emulate it. This was when she was just in year 8. Everything she did was quality and effort. She was aware that everything she did represented her and her family, and it was of the highest importance to her that she did the best of her ability, as they meant everything to her. The last card that Neruda wrote to me was in the week before the fire. It was to be the last time I would see her. She wrote that I held a dear place in her heart, and she hoped we can keep in touch after she had left Holland Park School. That was absolutely my intention. I wanted to know how she had got on with her A-levels, her success at university, and if she enjoyed being the PE teacher she aspired to be. It is a tragedy that someone of her worth, value, and quantity did not live to achieve the things she had planned. I hope every teacher gets to teach a student like Neruda. I have taught thousands of children in my career, and she was unique. As I have already mentioned, Neruda attended Thomas Jones Primary School, and this is what one of her peers had to say about her. Neruda was kind, cheerful, and welcoming when I first arrived in my new primary school. She was loved and respected by all of her peers due to her hospitable and innocent nature and her tendency to trust. If Neruda was your friend, she was loyal and unrelenting in her support. She made your comfort and happiness her mission, and your concerns and worries hers. She was never spiteful or mean, just grumpy every now and again, but always remained jovial to those who were most dear to her. That was from Tom Ward. Emma Jones, Neruda's Year 6 teacher at Thomas Jones Primary School, had this to say. Neruda's generous smile and sense of humour stay with me today. Perennially upbeat and able to see the humour in her situation, she was bright, energetic, and kind. Neruda had a strong sense of identity and was always true to herself and what she believed in. As a classmate, she was respected by all of her peers and formed strong relationships with everyone she met. Within the school, she was a role model for other children, frequently hailed for her sporting prowess, and loyalty, and demeanor. She was pragmatic and robust. No job was ever too big or too unappealing for Neruda. She would literally push up her sleeves and help out at every opportunity. A willing advocate for the school and loyal member of Thomas Jones' school family. She continues to be remembered by everyone at Thomas Jones for simply being a delightful girl. Lastly, one of our cousins, Sakina El Hefti, had to say this. Neruda was a kind-hearted and bubbly girl. Everyone loved her as she was friendly and funny with everyone she met. She was loving and caring and will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That really took some courage, didn't it? And it was a lovely tribute. Thank you very much.
You the next one? Right. So what's your name then?
Sarah.
Sarah, okay. Everyone needs to hear you, so we need to get that microphone by you, all right? And the same again, if you just read what you've got to read to me, everybody's going to hear it.
Okay.
Take your time and there's no rush.
My name is Sarah Shabrini, and I am Mehdi's cousin. Yasin's father and my mother, Hanan Wahabi, were siblings. Like me, Mehdi was born at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in Kensington and Chelsea. He attended Oxford Gardens Primary. Mehdi was the baby of the family. He wasn't a spoiled boy, but he was cared for a lot. He was mothered by both of his parents and his siblings. Mehdi and I both live in Grenfell Tower. I often visited my cousin Mehdi, and we would play on the landing with his neighbours. The parents of baby Logan, who you heard from on Monday, were my cousin Mehdi's next-door neighbours. Baby Logan's sisters used to play with us. We used to have so much fun. The 21st floor was so much more fun. The 21st floor was so much more fun and child-friendly than the 9th floor, where I lived. I take comfort in knowing that my cousin Mehdi's neighbours will soon be my neighbours when we move into our new home. I'm looking forward to continuing playing with baby Logan's sisters again, but it is difficult knowing that Mehdi will never be able to play with us ever again. We both enjoyed playing Minecraft and Lego. Mehdi had small toys including Minions, Furbies and fidget spinners. His toys were arranged all over his desk so there was no more space for any more. He was like a collector. Mehdi liked ice cream, curry and couscous. He kept a squishy red, white and blue rocket toy in his bed. Had he lived until adulthood, I think he would have liked to have been a comedian, although I do think he had some work to do on his jokes. Mehdi's class teacher, Miss Chabelsi, had this to say about my cousin. Mehdi was a much-loved and beautiful member of our class. His qualities were endless, which made him an exceptional young man. He was friendly to all around him, always supportive and welcomed everybody no matter what. One of his strongest qualities was his ability to make us laugh and smile. We knew we could rely upon him to lighten our mood and brighten our day. Mehdi's smile lit up any room he entered, and his kindness and generosity to his peers and staff made him an extremely popular boy. He was an incredible role model who most children would aspire to be like, and it was our pleasure to have known him and taught him. Even though this tragedy has left us heartbroken, it brings us comfort to remember that the amazing child Mehdi was, and he will always remain, a member of Giant Class, living in our hearts and minds. Sarah Cooper, the head teacher of Oxford Gardens Primary School, had this to say about Mehdi. Mehdi was a much-loved member of Giant Class and the Oxford Gardens School community. He was very good at supporting members of his class and was very funny and always made us smile. Mehdi loved karate and was a talented artist. He wanted to be a vet or a fireman. We will always remember Mehdi. He will always be in our hearts. Mehdi was a wonderful member of our community. He gave us endless smiles and with joy everything that he did. He was always thoughtful and kind, supporting his classmates through learning challenges, always providing guidance and reassurance to those who were unsure. Mehdi was a true team player. He loved his sport and was especially talented at karate. Mehdi touched all of our hearts here at Oxford Gardens. We will remember his endless kindness and warm heart.
We will all miss Mehdi. He was a special member of our community, and he made us all smile. We must now carry that smile in our hearts, and as he will always be with us, which must make us strong and determined to carry his memory with us forever. Oxford Gardens was always a special place for Mehdi and his family, and we now have a special place here that we have dedicated to them all with a plaque and a tribute which reads, "Remembering our friend Mehdi al-Wahabi and his family. You made us laugh and smile every day, the 14th of June 2017. Whenever we feel sad, we come to this special place and stop to think, remember his laughter and his kindness, and be comforted by his smile. Mehdi and his family, especially Fawzia, who accompanied Year 3 on all of their visits, will always be in our hearts and will always be a part of Oxford Gardens community. It was an honor to have known them, and we know that they will always be here supporting all of us as we take the steps forward in every new day to rebuild our strength. We will cherish their memory and let it live on. Lastly, this is an acrostic poem that one of his friends wrote. M for marvelously generous, E for exceptional art, H for happy and helpful, D for delightful friend to all, I for incredible member of giant class. I will miss Mehdi a lot, and I will never forget him. Thank you.
Sarah,
Thank you very much, Sarah. That was really good. Thank you.
Sarah, before you go, because I know all of the press people will come and ask me, how old are you?
I'm 9 years old.
Well, I couldn't have read like that at 9 years old. And I think you did a beautiful, beautiful job. So well done, and thank you. And thank you all. There is now a commemoration for the same family. This is going to be presented by Ahmed and Geeta Shelat. Good morning.
I'm here to speak on behalf of my wife, Geeta Shelat, who is the sister of Mr. Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Which she is, at the moment, she's in Mecca doing her pilgrimage, and I'm reading the pen portrait on her behalf. This is my daughter, Raja.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, sir. My name is Geeta Shelat. I lost my brother Abdelaziz, his wife Fawzia, and their 3 children, Yasin, Noor Huda, and Mehdi, during the Grenfell Tower fire last year. Abdelaziz and his family were a huge part of our lives. Since the fire, my family has never been the same again. Today, I would like to share this story. In terms of our ethnic origin, my family and I are from Larash in north of Morocco. We are a large and a tight-knit family. I have 5 sisters, 3 brothers, including my brother Abdelaziz. I am the oldest of my all 8 siblings. My siblings are Malika, Amina, Abdelaziz, Fatima, Asiya, Amina, Abdul Hamid, and Hanan. Our parents, Mohammed al-Wahabi and Sadiya al-Wahabi. My family moved here from Morocco in 1997. My father worked as a domestic worker, and my mother worked as a housekeeper until she became a housewife. We were all born in Morocco, save for our youngster sibling, Hanan. I lived in Morocco until 1975, when I was about 17 years old. and Abdulaziz came to the UK in 1976 when he was around 11 years old. My father, Mohammed El Wahabi, died in March 2009. My mother has lived in Ladbo Grove, close to Grenfell Tower since. I believe she's only a 15-minute walk from Grenfell Tower. Abdulaziz El Wahabi, my brother, was the first boy in the family, so he was very special. We all loved him very much. Although he was the first boy in the family, he was never spoiled. He was very kind, generous, selfless, and respectable person who managed to put a smile on everybody's face. Abdulaziz married Fuzia around 1999-2000. My father wanted him to have a big wedding, a Moroccan big wedding. His wedding celebration lasted 7 days. It was amazing. Fuzia and Abdulaziz later had 3 children together. Abdulaziz was really good to his family. His wife and children grew up in loving and supporting environment. Abdulaziz used to let his daughter Nur Huda play football when many fathers from our background would necessarily do so. He was very open-minded. He was very loving and generous with the children. Abdulaziz loved life. He was always positive and tried to see the best in everything, in everywhere. In everyone he met. He will take his family, including our mother, to Morocco each summer and would
There's absolutely no rush. Just have a moment and take a breath.
He would take my mom wherever he went. Abdulaziz started working at the age of 16. He left school and worked various different places. He was very hardworking and wanted to ensure his family were properly taken care of. For the last 10 years, he was working as a general porter in the Central London Hospital. There was a memorial service on his honor following the fire. He was loved everywhere. His son Yassine was just like Abdulaziz. They look alike, and their personality were exactly the same. Both lit up the room when they walk in. I will miss Yassine very much. My last memory of him was when I was on the phone in the neighborhood. Yassine was on his bike. When he saw me on the phone, he didn't stop to say hello. I saw him the next day and I asked him why he had not stopped to greet his aunt. He was so apologetic and clearly visible upset that he had hurt me, and he was close-mouthed. 2 days later, I saw him on Portobello Road on his bike. He was trying to get my attention by shouting, "Aunt." And I wouldn't stop until he caught my attention. He was worried he would offend me again. So he persisted until I saw him. I will never forget this. Yassine and Nur Huda particularly grew up in my house. Everyone said Nur Huda took after me. She was always cheerful. Both Yassine and Nur Huda would always stay around till late. And I would, or my husband, Ahmed, would walk them back to their house at Grenfell Tower. I will never be able to do this again. I will miss little things like this. Once our father passed away, Abdulaziz took on the responsibility of providing for the family and emotionally supporting everyone, as well as keeping everyone together. He witnessed our father passing, and since that date, he was not being the same. He was always like a father figure to us all, but after definite change following our father passing. My mother and Abdulaziz became closer. She would seek his advice and vice versa. In relation to any familiar matters, for example, once my father passed away, my mother had tasked him to visit Morocco to deal with the family asset there. Abdulaziz has always been open and fair, so ensured that each sibling received equal amount in the family asset there. Abdulaziz was also very good with children. He would ensure everyone got together and celebrate as a family. We are very close, neat family. We never miss a special occasion. He was a brilliant uncle to my children. To them, he had a great connection with them. He was able to relate to both adults and children. He always spoke his mind, but was courteous at the same time. He would never hurt a fly. Abdulaziz and our mother had a special bond. He left a real sense of responsibility, but most importantly, love and respect for our mother. He was very affectionate and didn't hesitate to show his affection. He would show our mother his kisses and hugs and ensure he and his family saw our mother every day. He was really the bond that kept everybody together. Abdulaziz's wife often worried about how he would cope if anything happened to our mother. In fact, it was just not Abdulaziz, but his family too. We had deep sense of love and respect for our mother. My sister-in-law Fazia would always cook for our mother too and visit her each day. They had a very strong bond. On the day of the fire, Abdulaziz was with our mother. She's not elderly informed woman. She has dementia and Parkinson's disease. But she recalled precisely what happened that day and my brother's last word. Abdulaziz had come around to my mother's house and had told her that he misses her very much. He told her that he had hoped she would always be next to him and that he wouldn't know what to do if she was gone. He began kissing our mom all over. He used to do this a lot. He was a very affectionate person, particularly with our mother. He never wanted her to feel lonely or unloved. Abdulaziz was very close to our mother, so passing has been really difficult, particularly for our mother. She has not been the same since. Abdulaziz and his family left a deep hole in our lives. I don't think we can ever be the same again. We were a big family and did so much together. Our entire family has now been diagnosed with PTSD. I don't think we will ever go back to how it was. The reception since his death has been overwhelming. However, we have received messages from all over the world, from Abdulaziz, from people Abdulaziz knew. Everybody only has beautiful words about him. One of his friends recently told us that Abdulaziz had always wanted to build a well in our hometown. He was always incredible, generous, and charitable. My mom wanted to do this on their memory. We miss Abdulaziz and his family every day. The loss has been felt by the whole community. They will never be forgotten.
Thank you very much
My
indeed.
pleasure.
Sir, the final part of the commemoration is going to be 2 films. These are films where I gave a brief warning. There are scenes of the tower both in fire and afterwards, and so anybody who would like to leave the room can of course do so now, whilst the people who are coming for this part of the presentation come onto the stage. I can see some people are just coming in, so I better just repeat that we're about to show a film which has some images of the tower, both in fire and afterwards. Is everybody all right? So, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us who you are, first of all.
So my name's Farah, and this is my mum, Aisha, and this is my aunt, Manana, who is Fauzia's mother.
We've got two films, is that right?
We do, yeah.
Before you tell us about them, the technical people would just like confirmation which one you'd like shown first.
Fauzia's one
That's
first,
fine.
please.
And you're going to tell us a bit about them?
Yeah, so I just wanted to start off just quickly talking. So Fauzia El-Wahabi is my aunt Manana's daughter, who lived on the 21st floor of Grenfell Tower in flat 182 with her husband Abdelaziz and their 3 children, Yasin, Nurhuda and Mehdi. I'd like to speak briefly today on behalf of my auntie, which will be followed by our clips. The reason I speak on behalf of my aunt today is because unfortunately she does not speak the English language. We did want to arrange a short clip which could be subtitled. However, due to certain circumstances, we was only able to get my aunt a flight to the UK of early hours this morning. I'll now read you a short statement from my aunt, Manana Jabari. I had 5 children. Fauzia was my 3rd pregnancy, and I still remember the day that I gave her life. My husband Mustafa went out to get a taxi to take us to the hospital. By the time he arrived back, my mother-in-law had helped me deliver my baby. I remember looking down at this beautiful baby girl. I was so excited to finally have a daughter that I was longing for. Fauzia was brought up in Araish, Morocco. I enjoyed every minute of watching her grow. She always wanted to stay indoors and help out with adult-like tasks. She enjoyed helping around the kitchen. She was very artistic and creative, and by the age of 7, she was doing her own embroidery, handkerchiefs, scarves, tablecloths. She was very ambitious and always saying to me, "When I get older, Mum, I want to be a needlecraft teacher." She loved school and never missed a day. She would be sad at the end of the school day and always asked, "Why does school have to close overnight? Can't it stay open all the time?" When it was bedtime, she never wanted to sleep. She was always full of so much excitement and buzzing for the day which was yet to begin. As I watched my beautiful girl grow, I was so proud of the loving, caring and talented and kind-hearted young lady that she had blossomed into. Fauzia married Abdelaziz back in 1994, and I remember her wedding day. She looked like the most perfect princess. She made the whole room glow. It was such an enjoyable day that we shared with many loved ones, and as the night approached an end, I knew I was going to have to let my daughter go. She was going back to the UK with her husband to start a new chapter. Abdelaziz and his family were already UK residents, so when Fauzia moved over, she lived with them in their family home. On the 9th of August 1996, Fauzia gave birth to her first child, a boy named Yasin. She called me in Morocco to let me know that she'd given birth to a beautiful boy. She was so happy and filled with so much joy. Shortly after she had Yasin, she was housed in the Grenfell Tower. She kept asking me, "Mum, come and visit me in London. I want you to see my home." When Yasin was around 4 years old, I finally came to the UK. They all came to greet me at the airport, and I stayed with her in her flat at Grenfell for around 3 months. I loved it. I was able to create a bond with my grandson, and I got to see my daughter's home. When we would go out, Yasin would race me to the lift so that he could press the button first. She loved her home. However, I was so afraid of heights, and I always used to say to her, "Fauzia, get another house that ain't so high. One day the wind will come and knock this building down." She used to laugh and say, "No, Mum, don't be silly. This is my home and I love everything about it." Fauzia was blessed with 2 more children, Nurhuda, who was born on the 27th of June 2001, and Mehdi, who was born on the 22nd of February 2009. Every summer they'd come to Morocco, and I'd look forward to them coming. They loved it here. It was a home away from home. Mehdi has little turtles at my house, and he asked me to look after them while he was in London. When I'm at home, I look at them and I start crying. thinking that he'll never be coming to Morocco again. How am I supposed to cope during the summer when everyone comes to see their family and I'll forever be waiting to see my beautiful daughter and my grandchildren walk through the door? My life is empty and my heart is broken.
Thank you very much. Now I think we are going to show the two films.
Fawzia is my first cousin. She was in Morocco. When she was in her late teens, probably 19, 20, she got married to Abdelaziz, who lived here. So she was my only cousin that lived in London. She had a big, lovely smile, massive smile. That smile just brightened up your day.
She's very smiley. I never saw her like upset. The first time I met Fawzia, it was a long time, more than 19 years. Then we start to build our relationship between me and her as friends.
She loved living there. That was the area that she knew, and that's where her children were born and grew up. That was her life, it was her home. She'd done a lot of charity work. Women used to get together and she would teach them all sorts, like embroidery, crochet, knitting.
Last year, January, I started to do the sewing with her. The first day when I saw her, she said, "Oh, Malika, good, you come in, you join us," and you know, with the smile in her face, and she was very happy. She was a good teacher. In May, we and the West were having a party, and people taking the photos, and they were sitting down. She told me, come in, Malika, please, please. She gave her hand, and she held my hand. Look, and that is the last time I saw her.
I don't have family here. For me, I feel she's my sister. She's part of me. I feel that. Now I feel one part of me is gone. Because anytime you need her, she's there. She said always, "Oh, my lovely," and she come and hug me. I loved her.
I've learned a lot about what happened in the night of the fire. I stayed up all night that night watching it. At the same time trying to phone her. Her phone was engaged, the house phone was engaged, until about 3:30 in the morning when the phones went dead. And I never got through to her. I was hoping she would be one of the ones that got out. The next few days were really bad. Me and my children were running around hospitals trying to find if they were in any of the hospitals. I couldn't tell my aunt. She was constantly on the phone to me and I couldn't say nothing to her. I couldn't say yes, no. She's her mum and I couldn't give her an answer. And it was days before we found out. And that's when they said to us, "Yeah, we know, they all passed away." We really couldn't believe that all of them would have gone. Now I remember saying to my aunt, "Auntie, be strong, be strong." She said to me, "She's dead, isn't she?" I think I said to her, "Yes, they all are." And that was it. She collapsed. I spoke to one of the neighbours that said to us, they were going out at one time, but as they came out their flat, there was loads of people coming up because the smoke down there was too much. So they went back in and stay put.
Time to time it comes to my head. How she's been burned inside. Who been burned the first one? And sometimes I imagine like how she was looking to her son dying next to her. She can't do nothing. It's very hard. I miss her hug, I miss her talk, I miss her smile, I miss her energy. I miss everything on her.
I'm glad I remember her big smile, because after I saw the bones, and, you know, in the mortuary, I was worried that I'm not going to remember the smile. But I'm glad I do remember her with her smile. Always happy, always bubbly. That's Fozia.
Thank you.
I am here today because of 5 special people: a young man, young girl, young boy, mother, and father. Yassin El Wahabi would have been 21, a young Moroccan man full of so much love, joy, and laughter. I remember I'd be walking to college and I'd hear you shout my name. I'd turn around and see your smile. It'd lighten up my day. You'd walk with me and say, "I'm sorry, cuz, but I need to make sure you get there, okay?" You'd walk me right up to the gates. You were greeted by so many on the way, loved by everyone. Still can't believe that you're not here today. Someone so special, someone so passionate. You had so much ambition. You were shining so bright. I remember the day I saw the tower up in flames. My eyes filled with tears as I heard the news. I rushed down, praying and wishing that you were all okay, lost amongst the crowds, but I managed to find a way.
Six floors down.
Floor, on the 6th one, or is it the 7th one?
No, so they were number 18, so on the 6th one.
The actual 6th one is there.
I searched and searched for days. Auntie was calling me every minute of the day. All the way from Morocco, all she wanted to know was where was my daughter and family. Please tell me that they got out of that building okay. I'd sit in the park at night, staring at the tower, flames still sparking alight. I'd count down the floors and look through your window and think of all the memories that we've had. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. I wasn't ready to lose you all. We still had so many memories to be gained. I will love and miss you all forever. At least you are all together in the hands of God in that perfect place above.
Thank you very much. That's a really powerful film. Thank you.
Sir, there are some arrangements to be made for further commemorations, which may also involve a little jiggling of the timetable. But I think we've had quite a long morning so far, and perhaps time for a tea break.
How long would you like?
Can I suggest we have 20 minutes?
Yes, that's resume at 11:30.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes, very good. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Bishop.
Sir, thank you for the time. The programme for the rest of the day will be as follows. We will start with a commemoration for Khadija Khaloufi, which is the third from the bottom on the list.
Yes.
We will then have the commemoration for Jessica Urbano Ramirez, and that will take us till lunch. After lunch, which I would ask today to be at 2:15, we will hear from the commemoration for Steve Power, and then we will have at, I suspect, around 2:30, the more lengthy commemoration for Hashim Kadir and those in flat 192.
Right. Yes, thank you very much.
So on stage at the moment, we have Sabah Abdallah and his family. Good morning. Now, I think the video we're going to see has been prepared by you, is that right? Khadija Khaloufi lived in flat 143.
That's right.
And where did you live?
143.
What was
then,
your...
then it was, well, it was 143. All of a sudden went 173. As promotion.
As a promotion.
Unwanted.
So, what was your relationship to Khadija?
I'm her husband.
How long had you been married?
Well, I'm going to leave this for
the film.
For the film to explain everything.
Good. But I think I know from watching it that you were together, I think, for 27 years.
That's right.
And
yeah.
You've asked me to tell everybody that you've made this tribute to share with us all today and celebrate the beautiful person that Khadija was.
Exactly.
And to commemorate the 26 happy years that you had together.
27.
27 happy years that you had together.
Yeah. Thank you. That's
you.
right, yes.
Well, we'll now watch your film. We'll now watch your film.
Yes. My wife's full name is Khadija Khaloufi. She was born in Gaza, and we met each other in London. She was studying in France, and then we got married. That was in 1990, but it was Islamic marriage first, and thereafter followed by the normal marriage by the registrar office in Hammersmith. It was 1998. And we were together ever since. She gave me the right impression right from the beginning that she is the person for me, the right one. To the extent that she was looking after the friends and neighbors more than looking after me. But she's so fantastic. Fantastic. I don't know how to describe it. I wish I could see or find someone like her. Even if it's a little bit less, it's okay. But I don't think it's available. I've got a son and a daughter. Now, both of them, they look at her, they treat her, and they respect her like their own mother. to the extent that the daughter, she was actually given nice places to move in. She refused. She preferred a studio at Testerton, which is opposite the Grenfell Tower, to be close to my wife. My son came to Shepherd's Bush, near Shepherd's Bush over there, to be also close to us. Both of them, they just couldn't believe what happened to her. It's, I've lost my wife, but them, they have lost their mother. That's, I'm not trying to make my wife as an angel or something, but to them, she's more than an angel. My mother, she managed to live longer with the grace of my wife. She was looking for her after her going. My wife basically cooking for her and also observing the other things and so on. Yeah, until she passed away, and then we buried her here in Enfield cemetery there, Garden of Peace or something. Yeah, that was a long time now. There's one video for which it shows that she was able to do the painting in our place. If I wanted to do something in my place, it's forbidden for me not to touch anything, because she keeps telling me, you are clumsy. Let me do it. We don't do that very well. And she was right. We tried to locate someone to give him this as a contract to do it for us, tiling the whole place. This guy, he brought his stuff, his equipment, and then he worked just a little bit and was disappeared. After a week he comes back, he does a little bit again, goes, disappear again. So how long for we going to wait, like, when deal with this guy? And you know, when you do tiling, the place is all upside down because everything has been, all the furnitures, and so you have to move them from one place to another and so on. So we couldn't just cope with that. So we came with this idea. It was actually partly her idea mainly. Look, he's not Einstein, this guy. What he's doing is not really something that is, nobody can do it. That's a tile. That just makes the leveling, keep it okay. Put the cement or whatever, or put the tile on it, and then do the grouting, and that's it. So I was doing this, she was doing the grouting. And we finished the whole place, but it did cost us a lot. It did cost us a lot. But we were happy anyway afterwards. We were happy with it. She was basically a very helpful lady to all the neighbors in need. Any neighbor in need, she's there. And this can be confirmed by quite a lot of neighbors. She was always helping others and not helping me sometimes. For her, it's the neighbors, the friends, they're the first, they come first. She's always there to give advice and to help, and to run with them to wherever they are stuck, got stuck somewhere I don't know, in one of the offices or one of the whatever, that she's there to help them, and she goes with them, she translates it to them, and she advises them what to do, this and that, and so on. And I keep waiting that she comes back. We traveled a lot, especially by car. We used to travel a lot by car because she's got families, acquaintances, friends in France, in Belgium, Holland, Germany, and so on. When I'm free, we just jump into the car and drive away, wherever. Just cross the channel and then choose a country. Sometimes we decide, oh, let's go to France. Once we are in Calais, no, let's go to Germany first. And that's sort of things, you know. It's like free like birds. We went to Morocco quite often. Sometimes once a year, once every 2 years, or something like that, you know, it depends. We went to Marrakesh, and she was with one of her friends in the market, I don't know where, and then she phoned and she said, I'm gonna take a taxi and come to you, because I was sitting in a restaurant waiting for them. And all of a sudden I see a tuk-tuk stopped in front of me, and she comes out of the tuk-tuk. I just couldn't believe what is going on. So I took picture for her and so on. And then after the meal and so, we went into the market inside and so on. And all of a sudden we come across someone has got a monkey in his hand, and he said to me, come. So I went, so the monkey jumped onto here, all right, okay. Then jumped over there. Then I looked at my wife and said, oh, now it's her turn. So the monkey jumped on her, and she kept on crying. It's also in the picture. The monkey was sitting on her head, and she was crying. We had a lot of nice time. The smile doesn't leave her face. She's such a character of making jokes, laughing, make you feel so comfortable. It's for me, it's a unique person. So I can't really describe her better than what I'm saying now. It's I lost part of me. That's it. I've got nothing else to say.
Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts and memories. She was obviously a lovely lady, and we're really privileged to have seen that film. Thank you very much.
So I wonder if I could ask you just to rise for 5 minutes. Thank you. So thank you. This is the commemoration for Jessica Urbano Ramirez from flat 176. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now tell us all who you are.
My name is Melanie, Jessica's sister. This is my mum, Adriana, and my dad, Ramiro. And yeah.
I think you're going to tell us a little bit about
Just
the film
a bit
and a
before
bit
we play it.
about Jessica, and then we're going to watch a film. Is that right?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. So, on the terrible night of the 14th of June, we lost our baby girl, Jessica. The tragedy took Jess away from us 2 weeks before her 13th birthday. 2 weeks before we could see her all dressed up, just like she always did, her entire life, enjoying any opportunity she had to look her best. Jessica was already planning her quinceañera, which in Colombia is a traditional coming-of-age party for when a girl turns 15. She knew that she wanted a yellow theme. She pictured herself in a beautiful yellow dress. Jess was reaching that age where you just begin to plan your future. Listening to some of these other pen portraits this week has been difficult for us, as we all wish she could have done more and fulfilled her potential. Jess will always be a big part of our lives. She was very special to us, as you will see in this video.
Jessica was a loving daughter and baby sister. Jessica was a joy in our life since the day she came to this world. We felt so blessed to have her in our life. She was always so happy and loved making others happy. Such a selfless and caring girl. She used to make us laugh every single day. Jessica loved music, cooking, especially baking cakes. She was so good at it. She loved going out to a different restaurant and explore different kind of food. Shopping was also one of her favorite things. Always cared so much about her looks. Me and her always enjoyed our lazy Sundays under the quilt, watching movies and eating popcorn. Our life is destroyed without her. It always be a hole in our hearts, and it will never be the same. Her funeral was such an emotional and very hard day, knowing we have to say goodbye to our baby girl. I was amazed to see how many people attend that day, how much people love her. I will always keep her in my heart, love her and miss her every single day. Sleep tight, baby girl, and one day we will meet again. Love you, Mommy.
How can you start describing a daughter you have lost in the most cruel circumstances? That way she's left us so prematurely by no fault of her own. My Jessica was such a bubbly girl, happy, cheeky, full of life, always willing to make a challenge. She would always join the after-school activities or clubs that were available. Swimming, cooking, baking, always a busy bee, my angel. She would come back with whatever she had made that afternoon and ask, "Dad, you want to try it?" My baby was Daddy's girl. She was the apple of my eyes, always given to people, polite. I always told her to say please, thank you. She was given to her friends. That's why they all loved her. She would go out of her way to help even at home. I liked the way she wanted to get involved when I was cooking. And her contagious smile was present at every opportunity. Now you ask me how I feel after all this. There are no words to describe the feelings of emptiness inside us all. It's only the people in the same circumstances as us that can understand this pain. We'll have to live with not having her around us for the rest of our lives. Every day, every hour, and every minute we will lose concentration on whatever we're doing, whether it is at a family gathering, at work, or even alone at work, at home, because she will be in our thoughts forever.
I never ever thought I'd be writing something like this for my little sister Jess.
Not a day goes by that she doesn't cross my mind, and the thought of not being able to watch her grow up into a beautiful girl and watch her go to university, have her first job, and just be there as an older sister at the time she would need me breaks my heart. Jessica was full of joy, full of laughter, and she deserved to live a happy life surrounded by the many friends and family who cared about her. Jessica loved shopping, she loved the latest trends, the latest hairstyles. She really knew how to keep herself busy. She loved singing too. I remember hearing her sing while she showers or had her bubble baths. She was a real diva. She grew from a shy young girl into an ambitious, caring, almost teen. She was so looking forward to her 13th birthday, to go out with her friends and have a slumber party. She couldn't wait to have that bit of freedom and grow up to do so many things. There's so many things I could say, I just don't know how to put them into words. But she will never be forgotten and will always be part of our family. I will miss having a sister, but she will always be in my heart. She lit up our lives for the short time that she stayed. I love you always, Jessica.
Thank you very much. That was a very poignant reminder. Great loss, I'm sure.
Thank you, sir, for that. I think now that we are going to do our next commemoration at 2:15 to accommodate Friday prayers,
yes.
And so may we adjourn until then.
Right, 2:15 then, please.